It was the middle of the night, and Olivia was taking a back way home from a concert she'd attended that night. She found herself on a dark, deserted road, and she hoped soon she would be back on the highway. Trying not to spook herself, she turned on her radio and concentrated on the music as she drove down the road. Finally relaxed, Olivia started to enjoy her long drive down the dark road, that is until she noticed a tall silhouette in the road up ahead. The closer she got, the more she could make out who was standing in the road. She became a little nervous when she saw it was a man. And when she got even closer, she could see him much more clearer, and she was in a bit of shock. The man had long mangled hair and was wearing tattered clothing. He was standing at the edge of the dark road with his thumb outstretched and a crazed expression on his face. Olivia slowly pressed her foot down on the brakes, slowing her car down when she was close enough to the man. Although Olivia was a little nervous, part of her felt sympathy, and she decided to ask the man if he was okay. She slowly rolled down her window and called out to him.
"Hey, are you all right?"
The man didn't respond. He just stood staring at Olivia's car. The more she stared back, the more sympathy she felt for the man. She knew this was a crazy idea, but she decided to give the man a ride. What harm would it do, right? Olivia watched as the man walked over to her car, opened the door and climbed into the back seat of the car, closing the door next to him. When she heard his seatbelt fasten, Olivia stepped on the gas and started back down the dark road. As Olivia drove further down the road, and deafening silence filled the car, she stole glances repeatedly in her rearview mirror, watching the creepy man sitting in the back. He had the same expression on his face, and he was just staring out the window. Olivia was a little puzzled by the man's demeanor. She had expected him to say thanks for the ride or anything, but he just stayed quiet. This response was starting to make Olivia feel nervous all over again. Despite feeling nervous, she decided to try speaking to the man and finding out what happened to him and where he wanted to go.
"Did something happen to you?"
The man still didn't respond and just kept staring out the window. Olivia's heart rate started to speed up a little as she started to become slightly irritated by the man. She was giving him a ride and she didn't know him at all. The least he could do was answer her questions or give some indication that he was grateful. She stole more glances at him through the rear view mirror before trying to talk to him again.
"Sir, can you please tell me where you need to go? Do you need a doctor? Are you hurt?"
Still no response from the man. Olivia immediately started to regret stopping her car. Was her decision to pick this man up a total mistake? Olivia decided not to ask any more questions, and she pulled off to the side of the road. She didn't know what this man's deal was, but she wanted him out of her car immediately. She had went from sympathetic to completely creeped out, and the road she was driving on was already creepy enough. Olivia slowly turned towards the back seat of her car to confront the man, and was shocked to find the back seat completely empty. The man was gone. In complete disbelief, Olivia looked in her rear view and all her other mirrors, trying to see if the man was walking down the road or into the woods. But the road was just as empty as before she saw the man. Olivia opened her door and slowly climbed out of her car. She stood by her door looking around. She didn't see or hear anyone, and she was becoming even more creeped out. How did this man just vanish without a sound? She didn't hear the car door open or anything.
"Hello, mister?"
The road was dead silent as Olivia continued to stand outside her car, waiting to hear a response once again. When she didn't, she slowly got back into her car, put it in drive, and continued back down the road. The whole incident had Olivia completely spooked, and she wanted now more than anything to just get off this road. A couple minutes had gone by and Olivia was still driving down the same road. It seemed as though the road just stretched on forever. Olivia just wanted to be back in her home, where she'd be safe. Realizing that these thoughts weren't making her feel any better, Olivia turned her radio back on and tried again to concentrate on the music. It wasn't really helping her like last time. She couldn't help but wonder how that man vanished from her car without making a sound. It just wasn't possible. Was the man not real? Was he a ghost? An evil spirit? She didn't understand, and she really didn't want to. She tried harder to concentrate on the music and put the whole incident out of her mind. But she realized that wasn't happening anytime soon, because she saw the same silhouette standing in the road up ahead, just as she had before. Olivia's heart rate went up even higher as she slowed her car down. She stared straight ahead at the silhouette. She knew it was the same man, and she didn't know what to think. How could she see him standing in the road again, when she had driven farther away from when he vanished? It didn't make any sense. Olivia decided not to take any chances, and she mashed on the gas pedal and sped up the road. The closer she got, she saw it was, in fact, the exact same man. He had the same long mangled hair and tattered clothing, and he had his thumb outstretched again. Olivia couldn't believe what she was seeing, but she didn't stop this time. She sped right past the man and kept going. Too afraid to even glance back in her rearview mirror, Olivia just kept driving and kept her eyes straight ahead. Her heart was beating so fast, she thought she would have a heart attack. This just couldn't be possible. Why was this happening to her? She was just trying to do a good deed, and this is what she got back. Olivia decided to give her sister a call to try and calm her nerves. Her and her sister were very close, and whenever Olivia was having a bad day or freaking out about something, her sister always knew how to make her feel better. Still keeping her eyes on the road, Olivia reached in front of her and tapped her phone that was sitting on a stand on her dashboard. She tapped her sister's number and pressed the speaker button. She listened as her phone rang, hoping and praying that her sister would pick up.
Hey Liv, what's up?
Tracy, I don't know what's happening, but I'm freaking out right now.
What do you mean, Liv? What's going on?
I'm driving on this scary-ass road, and it's like pitch dark out here, and there's this creepy man that keeps standing on the side of the road.
Liv, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean a man keeps standing on the side of the road? You're not making any sense.
Tracy, I'm telling you, there's a scary man that I keep running to out here. I tried to give him a ride, and he was in my car. And he just disappeared, and then I just saw him again, and I don't know how.
Olivia, are you high? Nothing you're telling me right now is making sense. Are you telling me you gave a man a ride? In the middle of nowhere?
Damn it, Tracy. This is not the time to judge me. I'm not high or drunk or anything. I'm telling you, I'm in my right mind, and it's something crazy happening out here, and I'm scared. This man was in the back seat of my car, and he was being weird, and when I turned around to tell him to get out, he was gone. I didn't hear the door open or anything.
Are you saying the man was a ghost?
I don't know.
Olivia was about to finish her sentence when she heard a deep voice from the back seat that sent a chill down her spine.
Right here.
Olivia immediately hit the brakes and dropped her phone on the floor beneath her. She could hear her sister yelling her name on the phone, but she was too frozen with fear to respond or even move. She could hear deep breathing coming from the backseat, and her heart was beating so fast now that the noise filled her head. As afraid as she was at that moment, Olivia slowly turned towards the backseat, hoping that it wasn't who she thought it was sitting in her car again. But, to her dismay, it was the same man she had picked up that night. He had the same mangled hair and tattered clothing, only this time, instead of having a disoriented or crazed expression, he had an evil grin on his face, and he was staring right at her. Before Olivia could speak or even attempt to jump out of her car, the man lunged towards the front seat, causing Olivia to let out a heart-wrenching scream. After that, there was nothing but silence. Olivia's sister, Tracy, was still on the phone
Olivia,
yelling her sister's
are you okay?
name. But sadly,
Answer me,
Olivia's car
please.
was now empty and still just sitting on that same dark road. Olivia was never seen or heard from ever again.